What's up, world? It's your boy International P coming to you with the very first episode of Big Steppers Podcast, man. Y'all make some noise for your boy.
Yeah, you fucking rule.
On this first episode, man, I'm gonna give y'all everything I know about credit. A lot of people been asking me questions about credit. I help people with credit, so it's only right that, one of the first episodes, we gonna dive right into credit. We gonna break it down.
I'm about to show my ass.
So first things first, man, what is credit? To me, man, I like to say credit is like your financial report card. It's going to show who's ever looking everything they need to know about how you make your decisions financially, whether it be buying a home, renting your house, buying a car. Any decision you made will be in that credit report, and it's going to be factored in when we're talking about your credit score. Now, when we're talking about your credit score, we're talking FICO score. I know it's a lot of different scores out there. You have your Vantage score, you have your this score, that score. But the main score, the most important score is your FICO score. When you go to get a mortgage, they're looking at FICO scores. When you go to get a car, whatever these big purchases that you make, these banks and these creditors are looking at your FICO score. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about your credit score. When we talking about that credit score, man, just know that it ranges from 300 to 850. When you in them 300s, boy, they're going to treat you like a dog.
Jayden broke.
You in them 850, they gonna treat you like a king. It's just that plain and simple. Somewhere in the middle of that is where most of us may lie, and that's totally fine because we get what we need to get. But normally we gonna have to bring a little extra money, or normally we gonna have to have a little extra paperwork. But just know at 300, it starts. They treat you like a dog. 850, they gonna treat you like a king. And more than anything, it's not about how they treat you. It's about how you treat yourself, how you feel about yourself. You want to walk into these dealerships and these banks, be in there hoping on a ring and a prayer that these people approve you.
You bless me with something.
Oh gosh.
Money-wise.
Or you want to walk in there knowing you're gonna get approved. You want to walk in there like, man, hey, show me the good shit.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
Show me the good stuff, because I'm like that. I don't even want my credit report pulled yet, because I'm already knowing what it is. You can't tell me what it is because I know. So that's how you want to move. We want to move with a purpose. We basically want to move like bosses. Part of that is having that credit up the part to make the moves we want to make. So look, for the ones that don't know, your credit score and how it's broken down and calculated. Here we go. You have 35% of your credit score. That's your payment history. You have 30% of your credit score. That's your amount owed. You have another 15% of your credit score. That's your credit history. Then you have 10% of your credit score. That's your credit mix, and 10% of your credit score. That's new credit. So when we talking about payment history, we're talking about that makes up 35% of your credit score. And that's important, man, because people want to know, do you pay your bills? Even I want to know. You want to borrow some money from me, I need to know, do you pay your bills, man? So that's very important when we go into these banks, when we go into these creditors. If you got a lot of recent, and when I say recent, I'm talking 1 to 3 years of missed payments, it's almost a guaranteed no. Now, once we get past 3 years, it starts to have less and less of an effect on your overall credit score. But those late payments are going to be on your credit score until 7 years. After 7 years, then they'll get wiped off. But you need to understand that you never, if you can help it, want to have a 30-day late payment, a 60-day late payment, 90 or 120 days or more. You never want to miss your payment like that. So what I like to tell people, I'm helping someone with their credit, or when I'm just helping someone be financially responsible, I always tell them, if you got a credit card, anything you have that has anything to do with credit, put it on the automatic payment system. Put it on the automatic payment schedule and forget about it. That's how I am. As soon as I get a new credit card in the mail, very first thing I do is I put that boy on an automatic payment schedule. Nice and simple. I'd rather my bank account go in the red than to let a credit card get a 60, 30, or a 90-day late payment, because it's going to stay. I can always fix it with the bank. The bank's not my issue, especially when we talking about personal. Now, when we talking about business bank accounts and whatnot, then you want to finesse the game. You want to look as good as possible. You want to look good, stay good. And ideally, if you can, you never want to go red in none of your accounts. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, if I'm gonna take a dent, it's gonna be on that bank side. I never want my credit cards or anything that has anything to do financially with my credit report to show a late payment. And like I say, when we talking about late payments, we talking about 30 days or more. So then we have amounts owed, and that's another 30% of your credit score. And that's major as well, because people want to know, are you dependent on credit? If you're showing too much dependency on credit, then that's scary to these individuals as well, because what that's showing is, damn, they might not can make it if they don't have this credit card in their pocket, or if they don't have this loan money from so-and-so. So when we're looking at amounts owed, the rule of thumb is you really want to stay below 10%. That's showing you know how to move a little bit. You know how to use your credit when it needs to be used, but you're not using it too much. You're not dependent on it. Even above that, you could stay between 13% and you're still looking good. But once you start rising above that, now your credit score is taking a hit. Now you're gonna start to see points dropping off of that credit score because now you're looking a little shaky. You know what I'm saying? You're looking a little shaky.
Whoa, it's a little shaky. It's a little shaky, boss.
We get upwards of 25% of that debt ratio when we talking about your credit balance versus what you owe on it. Then you looking extra shaky. Now it's fine to go above those limits and make sure you paying it off at the end of the month. That's a different story, but I'm talking about holding these balances over time. If you holding a balance of 20% or more on your credit cards, then that's looking crazy to these people and they want to know why. We talking about this 30% and we talking about amounts owed. It's all a credit game. They want to see how well you play when you playing this game. So now we're talking about 15% of your credit score is based off of the length of your credit history. How long have you been handling your business? How long have you been handling your business? Okay, I see your credit score is pretty good, but when I go back, all I see is 2 years worth of credit profile and credit history. You know, that don't look as good to me if I look at your credit profile and I see, okay, you have a 700 or a 750 credit score, but you also have 20 years of proven payments on accounts open.
You did it. Wow.
It looks way better to these lenders and to these creditors. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about length of credit history. How long have you been maintaining credit? How long have you had credit and been able to financially make good decisions with your credit? So now you got 10% of that is made off of the credit mix. What is the credit mix? The credit mix is how much of a mix do you have in your credit profile? Do you just have a lot of revolving credit like credit cards? You just got a ton of credit cards? Or do you also have a couple phone bills? Have a student loan? Or do you have a mortgage? Do you have a car payment? When you have a real nice mix, it looks very good on your profile. A real nice mix may be a mortgage. You may have a car loan, couple credit cards. It looks great. If you have a credit report and we pull up that report and you just have 2 credit cards, okay, I see you working, but don't look as good as if you've proven that you could able to pay these other things as well. So last but not least, when we talk about what makes up that credit score, we're looking at new credit. 10% of your credit score is new credit. And what they mean by that is how much new credit have you accumulated lately? Like, are you just around here trying to get as much new credit as you can? Because if so, then that starts to knock points off of your credit score. And it also starts to look shaky.
Whoa, it's a little shaky. It's a little shaky, boss.
So when we talking about this new credit, you got to understand that they want to know, okay, how many new accounts have you opened? And what's the deal with that? Because that could be a red flag for financial trouble. If you open a lot of, now you're applying for a lot of loans, you're trying to get a lot of loans, you're trying to get as many credit cards as you can. Why do you need all these funds? Why do you need this money? So just understand when we talking about that new credit, we talking about how many new accounts have you opened. If you around here trying to open as many new accounts as possible, that's a red flag to the system.
Flag on the play.
That means that you might be in financial trouble, because why do you need all these new accounts open and what's the deal with that? Now, let's say I'm helping someone and we're trying to build some credit. We open those accounts up slowly. When we talking about a lot of new accounts, we're talking about 3+. You can open up 2 to 3 accounts and be fine. But if you start opening up 4, 5, 6, 7 accounts at one time,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
It's looking like you may have something going on. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about new credit and the fact that it makes up 10% of your overall credit score. So another thing to talk about as well is those hard inquiries. See, hard inquiries fall into that new credit where we see you have all these inquiries. Why? You get what I'm saying? So if you have too many hard inquiries, that's going to drop your credit score down. So we want to really pay attention to that. When we're talking about hard inquiries, a lot of people don't understand you can get those hard inquiries removed over the telephone.
What? You say your mama got the kid? Are you home by yourself now?
Talking with someone and she thought she had to go through the process of actually sending dispute letters to get those removed. And I told her you don't. You can simply call up the credit bureaus, like I say, all 3 separately, and you can get those hard inquiries removed over the telephone. The thing people need to realize about hard inquiries, though, is if those inquiries are attached to actual accounts that you were approved for, then that's an issue and you can't get them removed, because then you may in turn get that account removed. So let's say you apply for a credit card with Pt.1. You're going to get a hard inquiry for applying for that credit card. But if Pt.1 declined you and didn't give you the credit for that credit card, then I say go ahead and get those hard inquiries removed. But what if you apply for Pt.1, you got that hard inquiry and you also got the account? So now you have a credit card with Pt.1. Now you don't want to be removing that hard inquiry because that can flag your account. So they'll remove the inquiry. But now, if you don't recognize the inquiry, I know damn well you must not recognize the account, right? So this is what the system is saying, or this is what the bureau is saying. So if the inquiry is inaccurate and not yours, or fraud, then the account must be fraud. We're going to shut them both down. So that's why we say do not remove hard inquiries on accounts that are actually open in your name. You don't want to do that. Another thing is what we like to call a hack. The hack is if you do apply for a new account and you do get approved for that new account, you want to call and get that hard inquiry removed before the account is actually registered to your credit report or reflected on your credit report. So it's a given amount of time, a week or two, between when you get approved for that account and when that account actually is reflected on your credit report. That's when we can call and get that hard inquiry removed, because I like to say it's not attached yet. The hard inquiry is not attached to the account yet, so it's not connected. So that's that span of time. That's why I call it a hack. It's like a loophole of time where you can get that hard inquiry removed and still have that account open and valid. But that's before that account shows up on your credit report. Once that account shows up on your credit report, it's a wrap. So the big thing is a lot of people want to know, how long can some stay on your credit report? Some can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years. So they can only report a negative account on your credit report for up to 7 years. Now, when it comes to bankruptcies will stay on your report for 10 years, but all other negative accounts can only stay on your credit report for 7 years. And that's a big thing because a lot of people think, okay, once 7 years pass, that account will automatically drop off. And it's supposed to. Ideally, it will. But most of the time, because these credit bureaus are not always accurate, that information will still be reporting. So you just want to make sure you're staying on top of your game and you're knowing what's reporting on your account on your credit report and what's not. If you recognize that some is, especially a negative account, if you're recognizing that a negative account is more than 7 years old, then we need to make sure we handle that ASAP. That should be the first thing to get removed off of your credit report. Understand too that credit nowadays, people need credit for everything. You need credit just to open up a bank account at some banks. You definitely need credit to go purchase a car. You need credit to go get a cell phone. You definitely need credit to wipe your ass now.
45 minutes. It's smelling pretty bad. I don't know what happened.
Get the fuck out of my face, Stanley! Oh, Lord, Stanley!
So it's extremely important that we understand our credit and that we make sure our credit is in a good place. We want to make sure we paying our bills on time. We want to make sure we taking care of all our accounts because our credit is extremely important. No, I'm missing something, bro. It's so much information. Once I get to talk about, you know how it is, you get to talk about something and all kind of shit come to your brain. So what I'm gonna do is anything I'm missing, man, I'm gonna make sure I come back and I'm gonna keep dropping these videos. So just stay tuned, subscribe to the page, like the page, and I'm gonna make sure I keep dropping information. I just want y'all to understand too how important credit is. Money cool, it's cool and it's lovely to have that bag, but just understand that credit is extremely important too, because America was built on leverage. So if the rich cats and the upper echelon building through leverage, what the hell you think we should be doing? We can't be out here always everything paid for. I'm out of the bag dropping. Man, we got to get leverage, man. That way we stay liquid and we able to make moves at the same time. See, that's what it's all about. Staying liquid, meaning keeping some money in our pocket, keeping funds that's able to be utilized for anything, extra investments, but also leveraging on the other end through our credit, making sure our credit good enough to where we want to go in these banks and we might need an extra 10 or we need a loan to buy a house. Be able to have that leverage because of our good credit, but we also still have that bag and that liquidity because we got it like that. So that's what we mean when we stepping, man. We got to be able to step. Them your two legs. We talking about liquidity and we talking about leverage, baby. Anyways, man, it's your boy International P, man. Stay tuned, man. We gonna make sure we keep these credit videos coming. Anything financial, man, that's what we gonna talk about on this page, man. I do wholesaling, I do flipping of real estate. That's a big thing we gonna cover on this page. We gonna definitely keep covering credit and credit repair because I work with a lot of people on that. And we gonna cover business structuring, man, being able to structure your business the right way and get that business funded. Hey, listen, man, I love you. I appreciate you. It's your boy International P. Thank you for tapping in with me, man. Like, subscribe, comment. Email me at heyp@bigstepperspodcast.com. That's heyp@bigstepperspodcast.com. Thank you.
Don't come around with no negativity. Kiss your mind right. Big motion.